Good evening, everybody. This is Charles with the Exodus Logistics Learning Centers, which features Dispatcher 101 training for beginners, as well as Freight Broker 101 training for beginners. Let's see, Kylie just asked a question. How long is this program finished before you can go out there and work being a dispatcher? You can work being a dispatcher while you are training. You do not have to finish the program to start dispatching. No way. As a matter of fact, it's probably better for you while you're learning something, apply that knowledge while you're dispatching. That way it reinforces the learning, right? Just like when you're in school, you were learning things and you reinforce that learning by applying it, it's the same concept. And our training is a reference point for you guys to go back and forth to. This is a self-paced, learn as you go training portal. You get to me live. You can call me. I answer my phone all the time. Anybody will tell you that. But you get to me live on the trainings Wednesday nights tonight at 6 p.m., Saturdays at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But outside of that, you utilize the portal at your leisure. It's self-paced. It's self-paced, learn as you go. Everybody who joins, they get a welcome email and with instructions on how to go through that. So let's see, G said my Zoom on my computer just shut down. Okay, so I want to address Aria first. Aria, your question, and then I'm going to go into some navigating for the beginners to show you guys step by step, because tonight is basics, and then we're going to start going into, I'm going to go a little bit into module 2 as well. But Aria, if you are here, I thought I saw you check in. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you sent me a very detailed email, and I think I answered some of the points, but I want to give examples and then for the new people and guests. So go ahead and so what was going on?
So I had a carrier that's interested in me using his services. I'm using my services. It was a referral from a friend. And basically the friend has a driver and the friend wants me to dispatch for the driver. Okay. And so when communicating to me the requirements just over the phone without the carrier packet, because the transaction was really quick, he let me know that he had a power only with no sleeper, and that he's based in Atlanta, and he's looking to do loads in that area and a couple surrounding states like Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi. So at the time, I didn't know what power only meant. And so I was like, well, let me just tell him to send my carrier profile packet back to me so I can just have more details of what he wants. And he sent it back, and he basically sent me the information, the MC authority, the W-9, the certificate of insurance. He didn't send a notice of assignment because he's not with a factoring company. And he sent the carrier packet, which gave me the preferences he wanted. And in that packet, he told me that he prefers to run a hot shot regionally 1 week out, and he can pull up to 70,000 pounds. And he has a 2015 Mack Pinnacle tractor. Okay. And so I didn't know all that when we were first talking. And I thought that was a hot shot because from my understanding, it's
that was just his verbiage. That was just his verbiage. That's all. It's not a hot shot. He wants to do like hot shot type of loads as far as like quick runs with his power only unit.
And he also told me that it's an Amazon approved load, so his driver always has to have the app on his phone, which I really didn't know what that meant either.
So okay, so he wants to run, and so he's Amazon compliant. That's what he's saying. So. Is he an owner op or is he a company driver? Because I think I asked you that in the email.
Yeah, it seems like I didn't talk to the driver. I talked to the person that the driver drives for.
Okay. So the trucking company owner, if you will.
Yes.
Okay. So that's interesting. So if the trucking company wants you to dispatch, which is kind of weird because they can just do that themselves. And especially
if they've been having trouble trying to find loads,
then they're not going to be in business pretty long then. Okay. So that must be a company driver for that trucking company. The one thing that threw a red flag with me is it's a day cab as opposed to a sleeper. And over the
Okay.
road with a day cab, you rarely see that. You know,
Okay.
it's usually sleepers that are over the road. So that threw me for a loop right there. Unless they're doing those runs and then going to a truck stop or to a hotel and getting per diem to stay at the hotels, and that's cool. But that's a red flag for me. I would have to find out if you want, set some time. I don't know how long you got before you decide to work with this person, but we can set up a call. I can be on a call with you, like three-way or whatever, and I can ask those questions that'll satisfy me as far as knowing. Because once I hear certain answers, I'll say, don't mess with them. So
Okay.
set that up.
He did tell me that he wants to keep hotel costs at a minimum, so I'm assuming that they just pay for the driver to sleep in a hotel.
Right, that's what I'm saying, because he has a day cab. That means he drives a day cab power only unit with no sleeper berth on it. If that's the case, if he wants his driver not to sleep in a hotel and cut costs, then get a power only unit with a sleeper berth. Then he can just pull to the truck stops and you won't have to worry about that. So that's another red flag for me. So
So what does power only mean?
power only is just the tractor itself. I'll show you a picture of it in 1 second here. I'm just letting some people in. So this is a power only unit. So I'm gonna go to image. Am I sharing my screen, guys? Can you guys?
Mhm.
I am sharing my
Yes.
screen. Okay, just want to make sure. So images.google.com, and Dan raised his hand. Ask your question, Dan.
Well, the first, just finish the question, the Aries question. Then, because I have a bunches of questions.
Okay. So, so this is a power only unit, Arya. This is a power only unit. It's just the truck, the tractor itself, the power. So another word for tractor or truck is a power only unit, a power unit or a power only unit. It doesn't have a trailer connected to it. It's by itself. And if you drive one of these by itself, you're doing what's called bobtailing, right? So if you're going to pick up a trailer at a DC, at a distribution center, and you're driving without a trailer and you're going to pick one up, you're bobtailing to that facility to get that trailer. So this is a power only unit, a power unit, a tractor, or a truck. Those are all synonymous names for this device, okay? And this is a sleeper, because it has a sleeper unit where the driver can go in the back and sleep there. The day cabs are the ones that without a sleeper unit, okay? So if he says he has a day cab, that's red flag number one. Red flag number two, the fact that they don't want to spend on hotel costs and they're still sending a driver over the road, that's red flag number two for me. So hopefully that helps. Me personally, if it were me personally, now the decision is yours. With me personally, I wouldn't start off with this one. I know you want a carrier though, right? This is your first carrier, right?
Yes, it is.
That actually sent back the paperwork and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can find power. So let's do this too. Let's do this too at the same time. Let me kill two birds with one stone. So let's go into so I'm going to navigate through and the system here for everybody who's new. So once you enroll, and I'm gonna stay on your point too, Ari. I'm gonna find a power only load for your guys' area. I'm gonna ask the questions as we go, okay? And I haven't forgot about you, man. Okay, so new people who just enrolled, you got a welcome email with instructions on coming to the back office to set up your login, your email and password in order to access everything else, okay? So it took you to a page, a welcome page, this one right here, welcome to the back office. That was the first thing that the email instructed you to do, because it wants you to set up an email and password. So from orientation all the way down to the end, you will be able to access everything once your email and password is approved by me in the back office, okay? So login setup, By default, it has login at the top, but under that, you see new to this site, sign up. That's everybody who enrolled, that's new. If it has login by default, it assumes that you already been approved and you just go ahead and log in by entering your email and your password, okay? But if you're new to the site, you wanna hit sign up. So now you're gonna see login change to, once you hit sign up, it's gonna switch to sign up. As new people, you know, if you see that, you're in the right area, okay? So all you have to do now is choose your email that you wanna use to log into the back office and your password that you wanna use. Some people use the same email that they enrolled under. Other people may have a business email, like a dispatch email that they use. Whichever one, it's your choice. Whichever one you use, remember, that's all I'm saying. Remember the email, remember the password, write it down, you know, store it somewhere, what have you, right? Hit sign up, it's gonna send me an alert. I'm going to approve it after I check the spreadsheet to make sure that you are enrolled, and then you'll be able to log in. Once you log in on this page, you're pretty much here, right? So from orientation, now you click on orientation because that's the next page. And you only need to be logged in once, right? You can just stay logged in on your local computer and you'll have access to all the other pages. You just click on those links and you go there. So now here's orientation. So once you log in there, there's an orientation video. You can watch that to get some information. Here is where your ebooks, you get 3 free ebooks and a glossary to use for your reading and edification as far as learning and getting the basics down, okay? This is an ebook, how much money you need to move your truck. Dispatcher 101 is an ebook. Level 2 is an ebook. Level 2 talks about the carrier packet and the rate confirmations. We'll go into that a little bit later, what those are and what the purposes for them are, okay? And in the basic terms, glossary, just to get you started, okay? So that's orientation. Someone asked me on a phone call earlier today, do I actually help people set up the businesses? I literally do not have the time to do it, but I do have business setup information page, which is next. And it contains information for business setup. Most people their legal structure for their businesses is an LLC. Most people say I got an LLC form. So with that in mind, I provided some LLC information as far as annual fees and Secretary of State LLC filings, business setups, business checklists. And down here at the bottom, here are some links to resources if you want to choose to set up your LLC through these organizations. Of course, the first option will be your local Secretary of State or your local municipality, wherever you set up your legal structure through that, getting your articles of incorporations and things like that. And then you take your business name and go to the irs.gov and apply for an EIN number, an employer identification number, because you have to have a business set up first before you can get an EIN number, because the EIN number is the social for your business. Okay, so just keep that in mind, right? Eleni said, I just set up my business. What questions do they have? I may be able to help. Okay, so Eleni just set up her business. So if you got questions about business setup, type it in the chat. And then Ellie can answer those in the chat, Eleni, right? So moving on, now we get into the modules. New guys, new people, new members, and girls. So I gotta be politically correct, right? So module 1, how to acquire carriers. So the reason why this is the first module is because you cannot dispatch until you get a carrier to agree for you to dispatch for, right? You could do all this other stuff and then be all set up and ready to go, but until you get a carrier, a truck driver, an owner operator, you can't dispatch, right? So module 1 is appropriately called how to acquire carrier. I can change the name, how to get carriers or whatever, but how to acquire carriers, okay? And in this module, we just had a quiz over this, the lessons in it for the majority of the members here, but in this module, we talk about the equipment types that we recommend that you use to start off as beginner dispatchers. And there's a reason why I suggest these equipment types starting out. I don't limit you to these equipment types, but it just makes your job a whole lot easier. And I cannot stress that enough. It makes your job a whole lot easier. So what is an equipment type? Why do I keep using that word? The verbiage, right? Equipment type. So I want to make sure because again, this is basics tonight, right? So equipment type is the power only unit we just discussed, the tractor, the power only unit, the truck, and the type of trailer that's connected to it makes up the totality of what we call an equipment type, all right? So this is a dry van trailer connected to a truck. So this is a dry van equipment type, right? And the 53 feet is the standard full truckload length, okay? And the next one is a refrigerated trailer. It looks like a dry van trailer, but it has a refrigeration unit or a what's called a TCU, temperature control unit, on the front of the trailer to keep what's being hauled, the cargo in here, cool to a certain temperature. Now, if you notice, this one does not have a tractor or power only unit or truck connected to it, but if it did, it would be a refrigerated or a reefer equipment type, okay? And then the third equipment type is the 48 or 53 foot flatbed. This is a flat, we call them skateboards because they look like skateboards, right? So 48 to 53 feet, tractor, power only unit, truck attached to it. So it is a flatbed equipment type. Okay. So you guys have any questions about, let me say why. Here's the reason why we recommend starting out as dispatchers to target those equipment type. It's because they are out here on the roads the most. They're the easiest to find loads for on the load boards, and they pay the better rates to the carriers, to the drivers, which means better rates to you, the dispatcher, if you're charging a percentage or if you're charging a flat rate, okay? That's the reason why, okay? And it may not seem obvious starting out, but over time, it will become obvious. There are other equipment types. Someone just mentioned straight truck. So the other equipment types that I don't limit you to these three, but there are others: hot shots, cargo vans, sprinter vans, straight trucks, or what's called box trucks, 26, 24 foot box trucks. Those are specialty type of equipment types. They are a little bit more challenging to find loads for because you have to know the areas where freight is hauled in those equipment types are located. You have to know the areas, specialized areas, and you have to have specialized load boards for those equipment types. Like, for example, the box trucks, sprinter vans, and cargo vans, the load board types are the ones that you have to bid on. The load boards that focus on the three major equipment types, like the dry van, flatbed, and reefers, you just go to the load board, you see what the broker posted the load for, and you call and negotiate a rate. You don't have to worry about bidding for it and competing for that load. So the type of load boards for the cargo vans, sprinter vans, and box trucks, My Virtual Fleet. Okay.
Hey Charles, when you bid on it, what you gotta wait on them to decide on who got to they choose to pick or something? Would you wait?
Well, you bid and you submit your bid through email, and let's say two people have the same bid price, right? Let's say I bid on a box truck load and both of us bid it the lowest price or the reasonable price, $500 each, going wherever it's going, how many miles it is. The person who's going to win that bid, since the two of you got the same price, is the one whose truck can pick that load up the soonest. So you may have someone who's 20 minutes away. You may have someone who's 2 hours away. Who do you think is going to win that bid? The one that's 20 minutes away. Correct.
20 minutes.
The one who can get to the load the quickest. So that's how you win bids in that. And there's a matrix, especially with My Virtual Fleet, which is Samuel Munitz. He's the owner of that software. He gives free demos to show you how to use it. There are a lot of loads in My Virtual Fleet, but the challenge is bidding on those loads. and keeping pace with that. So, what about hot shot load boards? So can you talk about auto dispatch? So auto dispatching, the challenge with the auto dispatching is you never want to target new car dealerships. They already have their carrier base established, Cherie, okay? They already have their carrier base established. You want to target used car dealerships because all you're doing with an auto hauling business is you're picking up cars from an auction that the used car dealer may have won, 50 cars, 30 cars, whatever, right? And you're finding an auto hauler carrier on one of the load boards, the popular one of which is called Central Dispatch, right? And you're going in there, so you're getting with the used car dealer. You say, okay, I can move those cars for you for $300 a car. And you need them delivered tomorrow, right? So give me $300. I can pay you $200. Well, if you want them if you're gonna pay me $200, I can have them to you in a couple of days. But if you want them tomorrow, I can do it for $300. So you squeeze him a little bit, and he agrees to it. So now you go on Central Dispatch, and you put those cars, and you say, I need an auto hauler that can move cars for $150 each. You see what you just did? You won the bid for $300 a car. You posted them for $150 a car, so you made that $150 spread per car. So if that's 10 cars that they move, that's $1,500 for you and $1,500 for the carrier. That's the art of auto dispatch or auto hauling, okay? But you gotta play both ends against the middle. You have to understand that. And you cannot do anything corrupt on Central Dispatch or else they'll kick you out. They'll ban you for life. So you have to be leery of that. As far as someone said, what about hot shot load boards? Hot shot load boards, let me mute here quick. Hot shot load boards. So what's a hot shot? So I gotta remember my audience is new. Some people may not know these terms. So let me make sure that I give you guys, I'll show you an image of a hot shot, right? And Dan, trust me, I haven't forgot you. So these are hot shots, right? So if you notice, it is a dually pickup truck, right? Like a Ram 3500, Ram 2500, GMC, and it has a trailer attached to it. It's a flatbed category, but it's only about 40 feet at the most. It may be 35 feet at the most, with a 5-foot dovetail ramp that bends over, or maybe tucked under and comes out, or tucked over and comes out to the ground. So that makes up the 40 feet. And it holds about, if you notice, you got dual axles on the back here. There's 2 axles, 1, 2, dual axles, so it can hold more weight, the weight distribution. So it can hold up to maybe 20,000, 25,000, 30,000 pounds on the trailer, okay? So hot shot loads, they haul like military stuff and small LTLs and partials. This is a hot shot truck and trailer, okay? The load board, what is this type of equipment on the load boards? This type of equipment, flatbed, is under the flatbed category, or it could be under flatbed / hot shot. The load board for the hot shot is called hot shot carrier, okay? That is the popular load board for the hot shots. And you can set up a subscription for that. I don't have a subscription to this one in my back office because I don't focus on hot shot loads for beginners. I focus on the 3 major equipment types to get you guys started. And then as you develop your business and bring in more clients and stuff, and make more revenue, you can start focusing on getting the hot shots out there. Hot shot can also be side deck and flatbed when filtering loads, correct? Not side, you meant step deck and flatbed. It's under the flatbed category. So I'm gonna go to a load board in a second and show you this, because I gotta finish out Aria and example, and it helped Dan as well. So with that, so we were navigating under acquired carriers, right? For the new people, okay? So we got the equipment types that we start out with for beginner dispatchers, but not necessarily focus on, but you can start out with to help you get going, as a beginner dispatching company. And then we got methods used to acquire carriers. There's different ways to acquire a dispatcher, to get a dispatcher agreement and profile to the carrier to fill out to return to you. And another question is too, what is a dispatcher agreement? What is a profile, right? So we'll get into that, okay? So truck stops is the #1 way. So if you're a dispatching company, you just formed your business, LLC, things like that, I am going to assume that you also have some marketing materials for your business to advertise yourself, to put yourself out there. Flyers, business cards, things like that, right? Vistaprint.com is probably one of the best places to start. It's relatively inexpensive. So visit the truck stops, pass out your information, present yourself as a dispatcher to be able to provide services to those carriers, things like that. So yeah, yes, Truckers Path is down. I spoke to the person. They got some kind of thing on their server on their side. So I'm going to show an alternative way to look up carriers. Okay, we have 3 other resources, okay? But the methods for acquiring carriers, truck stops, that's #1, because you're physically showing your face in front of the carrier, talking to them. They see your disposition, you see theirs. They see your sincerity, you see theirs, if they have it or not, right? So you get to present yourself to them. #2 is cold calling. Now, one of the resources we use, it's currently down, is the truck search feature of Truckers Path. But there are other resources, okay? We used, and cold calling is when you call someone for the very first time that you've never spoken to in your life. You don't know them from Adam. So you have to present yourself in a way that will convince, well, at least get the conversation to proceed forward and to convince them that maybe you can provide a service for them as their dispatcher and find loads for them, okay? So the Truckers Path, the truck search feature of Truckers Path was one, but there are others. I may even consider replacing this image with another image, the DAT directory, and I'll use that in conjunction with the Safer website, okay? The Safer website is just a company snapshot of either a trucking company, a brokerage, freight forwarder, and it's based off of their DOT and MC number and the name of the company, okay? So we are still in module 1. You're reading through module 1, getting the concepts of acquiring a carrier. So before we move on, I want to come back up to the dispatcher agreement and the profile. Okay, so under form, that's under the forms and documents, because those are forms and documents, right? So those are the first 2 types of documents that you guys will need for your companies, okay? Is a dispatcher agreement and a profile. Okay, so this is just a template of a dispatcher agreement. And most of you already have created yours, I believe. This is a PDF version. I do have a Word version where you can actually edit the fields. So the PDF is above the Word version in each case. This is a dispatcher agreement PDF, dispatcher agreement Word, carrier profile PDF, carrier profile in the Word format. You will take the Word format, edit it for your specific company, and then save it as a Word document and then resave it as a PDF, because you're going to send only the PDF version to the carrier to fill out. You never want to send the Word version to them, because obviously they can change things around, change the numbers. You charge 8%, they may say 4% if you send the Word document as opposed to a PDF, okay? All right, any questions so far?
Charles, question, man. This is Ladarius. Hey, is it any way? So, I signed up for DocuSign and different things like that. I actually had a login for it. Hey, man. With the Word version of it, is there any way to actually lock in some of the things that I put in, and then so that they can fill out the rest of the information, or do I have to just try to do a PDF version? I did try to use the PDF conversion method in order to change the Word version around, man. But I'm still trying that. It's giving me some issues, so I just wanted to know that, man.
Okay, so I would make the Word version the exact way of how you want it to be when you send it to the carrier, and then save that as a PDF, import that PDF into the DocuSign e-signature software, and then make those fields, the field that you want that carrier to edit and be able to type into, make those available to them, and then save that new DocuSign editable software PDF, and then send that to the carrier.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it.
All right.
Charles, I had a question, but it was in reference to the hot shot.
Okay.
I see that you said the hot shot was attached to the Ford F-150. Is that the only vehicle that a hot shot can be attached to?
No, any pickup truck that has dual axles that we call dualies, has dual axles in the back of the pickup truck. It could be the F-350, the F-250 Fords. It can be Chevys. It can be any type, as long as it's a dually, is dual axles on the pickup in the back of the pickup truck. Okay, we call them dualies, D-O-U-L-L-E, dualies. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Charles.
Okay, Dan.
So, yeah, I have a bunch of questions, like I said. So the first question is, if we don't want to use your credits on the low boards, so how we have accessing on them, because they're asking the MC and DOT number. So as being the independent dispatcher, we don't have them. How we can access them without
Okay,
without the numbers?
So outside of using mine,
Yeah.
so if you're not going to use my, because you have access, are you a member?
Yeah, I'm a member.
Okay, so I can't see why you want to, but
No, because I didn't see the track stop and the DOT power, so I want to use that loads also as well.
okay,
Low
so
board, but
DAT Power is a broker level login. Okay, and then Truck Stop is coming soon to my platform. But to answer your question, outside of not using mine, if you want to have your own, you would have to get a carrier first and then use their MC, of course, with their permission. Say, hey, Mr. Carrier, I know I got you under a dispatch agreement. I want to find you some better paying loads, so I want to use your MC, if you don't mind, to purchase this load board. I'm going to pay for the monthly subscription. Do you mind? If I was a carrier, I say, of course. All I'm giving you is 6 numbers, 7 numbers, digits. Use it. I don't.
If we're working with the 2 or many carriers, should we use their MC numbers every time?
You only need one MC number to get that load board, and you just use the same load board to book loads for the other carriers. But you only need one MC to get access to the load board.
Okay. Thank you. So the second question is, should we sign the dispatcher agreement every time for load with the carrier, or should we just assign just one time and that's it?
No, so you only need one dispatcher agreement per carrier, right? So when you say you're the dispatcher, I'm the carrier. You call me on the phone, or however, whatever method you use to get me to say, yeah, I want you to be my dispatcher. You send me over the dispatcher agreement and the carrier profile for me to fill out and return that to you with the other documents, which I'm going to cover in a minute. That's all you need from the carrier as far as getting them under an agreement with your company. And you store that information in your internal system, your file system, right? Your infrastructure for your company. And then when you go book loads with brokers, you're going to have a different broker carrier agreement that you have to get onboarded with the broker in order to book loads for that carrier, yes. But even that, with every broker, you only need to fill out a broker carrier agreement one time. Okay. Now, if you book various loads with the same broker, they also have what's called rate confirmations. You have to sign rate confirmations for every load that you book.
Yeah.
Right. But you only need to set up with the broker one time.
I got it. So, and whenever we sign the rate confirmation, we sign the carrier name and signature, right? We don't put our names and our company name.
That's correct. Unless there's a line that says who is your who's your logistics manager or your dispatcher, then you put your information. But normally the broker carrier agreement is a broker carrier agreement. It's not a broker dispatcher agreement. So you're filling out that information for your dispatcher. And in the dispatcher agreement, if your carrier signed the dispatcher agreement agreeing for you to be their dispatcher, there's a clause right here that's a power of attorney that gives you, from the carrier, gives you permission to fill out their broker paperwork for them. What is broker paperwork? Broker paperwork is, again, the broker carrier agreement to get set up with the broker for your carrier, and the rate confirmation to book the load for your carrier. So when you sign the broker carrier agreement, and which is sometimes called the setup packet, the onboard packet, the broker packet, the carrier packet. These are synonymous names. So here's what it looks like if you haven't had a chance to see it, right? So you're filling this out. Most cases, the broker already has their information already pre-filled out in the broker carrier agreement if they're going to send you the paper version of it. Nowadays, brokers are now they're catching up with the 21st century, and they're sending you a link to a website, and all you got to do is just type in your carrier's MC or DOT number, and it automatically populates most of the data, because it's public record, from the FMCSA and DOT into that system. And then you just fill in the little stuff, sign it and everything like that. But this is the paper version of the broker carrier agreement. So the broker's, so where it says carrier, you're going to put, like, say I'm the carrier, ABC Trucking. And you'll put that there. You the dispatcher, ABC Trucking. And then you'll read through and look through some highlight points. And then at the bottom, the broker's going to have their area filled out already. They're going to have their signature and things like that. On the carrier side, you're going to sign the carrier signature, John Doe, and you sign. You don't have to mimic their signature exactly like it is signed on the dispatcher agreement or the profile. Just sign it in your signature name, but just sign their name. Print their name, John Doe.
Gotcha.
Title is always going to be owner. Always, always, always. Okay.
All right.
Their company information, phone, fax, and email. You get that from your carrier profile that you receive when they return that dispatcher agreement and profile to you. Remember that?
Yeah.
So that's that. Okay, so that's the broker carrier agreement. The same thing with the rate confirmation. On the rate confirmation, most of the date, because this is what the broker is going to send to you or your carrier, but you, because you're managing the load for your carrier, the dispatcher, most of this information is already filled out by the broker. They're going to send you who the carrier is, all the information, where it's picking up from, things like that. The only thing that you have to worry about signing is down here where it says name, you print their name, John Doe, signature, John Doe, title. What's title?
Owner.
Owner, there you go. And their phone number.
All right.
But before you sign it and send it back, be sure that you make sure that the rate that the broker is paying
It's the
is
same on the load board. Yeah.
well, not only the same on the load board, but maybe you've negotiated a higher number, so it matches whatever you negotiated.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So last two questions. If carrier has like 5 or 10 trucks, and he's also like have maybe 5 or 10 drivers, should we design the rate confirmation with a single driver, or should we just assign the dispatcher agreement with the carrier, with the owner, and that's going to be enough for us? And also the MC, that all drivers gonna run under the MC, the owner MC number, right? Or they have.
So let me give you a scenario. ABC Trucking, I'm ABC Trucking. I got 5 assets or trucks, truck and trailers, dry van trailers. I got drivers for each trailer. You call me and say, yeah, I just started this company. I own 5 trucks, but I need help finding loads. Can you be my dispatcher? Can you book loads for my 5 trucks? And you say, yeah, sure. Send me the dispatch agreement. I fill it out, get it back to you. Every load, it doesn't matter how many trucks, every load you move, you do rate confirmations for each of those trucks, and you get paid for each of those loads. Okay? And when you're filling out the rate confirmation, the driver information or the carrier for that truck is that particular carrier that's driving that truck. This may be carrier John Doe 1, truck number 1, trailer number 2. This may be John Doe 2, truck number 3, trailer number 4, and so on and so forth. So for everyone, and the owner of the trucking company should itemize that for you. You say, okay, if, and this is good, this is a good question, because I need to say this like openly. If someone happens to get a person that has a trucking company with like 5 or less trucks or 5 trucks, make sure that you get for each driver of the truck their full name, their cell number, and the truck number and trailer number of that truck that they're driving for that company. That way, if you book a load, you'll be able to differentiate which one you're booking the load for. So when it's time to invoice and everything, you will have a more professional account of the information. Okay?
Yeah. So the broker is asking the owner MC number, right? He's not asking, he or she not asking about the driver's MC numbers, because they could not have it at all. They could have just the one MC for the whole company, or they have separate for every driver has an MC number.
No, that will never be a case. No. So here's the situation. You're either going to have an MC number for that trucking company, right?
Yeah. Or
individual owner operators that have their own MC numbers. They're not leased on to that trucking company. So if in the example I just mentioned, the ABC trucking with the 5 trucks, they're all under one MC number. And then you may have an owner operator with just one truck and trailer. He has his own MC number. You may have an owner operator who doesn't have an MC number, but is leased under the authority of the 5 trucking company. So it's going to be the MC number of the trucking company. But you're never going to have a case where there's 2 MC numbers for the same company, unless it's a broker side and a carrier side, but never 2 trucking sides. You'll never see that. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. The last question actually was about taxes. So as being the international student, I'm not familiar with all the taxes. So how should we fill out the taxes in the last of the year?
You can either do them quarterly or you can do them annually. I recommend quarterly. Are you based in the U.S. or you're overseas?
Yeah, I'm based. My company is based on the U.S., but I'm living in Turkey. I'm in the Europe, so I don't know.
So we got an international player on here. Okay.
So I just established the LLC like maybe 3 days ago through the registered agent. Actually, I wanted to mention you that you could just put some information for the international students.
So is the registered agent in the U.S.?
Yes, yeah, registered agents in the U.S. It's based in the Ohio.
Okay.
So yeah, but because of in the end of the year we should fill the taxes. I didn't know how we should do that. I mean, should we put all the incomes on the? I think I saw on the YouTube there is a the forum names as a. I don't remember the name exactly, but something like for the single members.
Right. That'll be on your W-9. You can either do the form 8832 or the form, I forget the other form, because I got a tax person that you probably can talk to. But right now, you haven't brought in any income, so I wasn't even worried about it at this point. And I would consider either a single member LLC or an S Corp, right? Depending on how much volume of income you bring in. Like I'm an S Corp. Even though my name says LLC, I filed as an S Corp, right? So, and I file my taxes quarterly because it's just easier to do it every 3 months quarterly, because it's cheap at the end of the year. I got less taxes to pay as opposed to waiting till the whole end of the year. I got to pay a lump sum, like 30,000, 20,000 or whatever, as opposed to breaking it down quarterly, you pay small amounts. So get with a CPA. I have one on the website if you want to talk to him. He's very versed, trust me, because I wouldn't be using them. So, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, so back to the new people. We are in module 1. Any questions before I move on, though? Because I'm sure everybody needed to hear what the questions that
Yeah, one quick question. I know you said about the box trucks. You said that it's like a specific type of low board where you have to like bid on them.
Yeah, so I can put that in the chat. Let me get this person the passcode to come in.
Alright. But I was also saying, can't you find loads for things like box trucks and like sprinter vans on regular load boards like DAT, but just looking like for partial loads and things of that nature?
You can break it down in partials, but you got to make sure that you get the right dimensions of that freight when you call the broker to determine if it can go into your equipment type. Like, for example, sprinter vans and cargo vans, they hold about 3,000 to 5,000 pounds and they can only be so long and so high, right? Box trucks are 24 to 26 feet. And they can only hold so many pallets in that. So you have to know your DIMs and weights. So when you call on the load boards and check on LTL or partial freight, you got to know your numbers, because if you accept a load and book a load and you get there and it can't go into your carrier's equipment, it's going to be crazy, right? So, all right.
What's the weight a box truck could
So it depends with the box truck if it's 24, 26 feet, and it depends if it's CDL or non-CDL. Non-CDL is the gross vehicle weight rating, GVWR, is 26,001 or 25,999. You can't be no more than 26,000 pounds. But in the box portion of the truck, the 26,000 is the total weight, including the driving and the cab and everything. But the box portion of the truck is no more than 10,000 pounds. So I tell people to say 9,500 just to be safe, because you're going to put fuel in the truck too. So you don't want to be overweight. Okay.
right?
So I say 9,500. So
That's a non-CDL.
yeah. So let me cover the remainder of Aria's question, because I want her to with the remainder of the question and the load board portion so that I can check it out. Okay. So with Aria, because I started with her, so I'm gonna go to module 2 and go to 1, 2, 3 load board and look up a power only load board. So Aria, can you unmute yourself, please? Are you still with us, Aria? I think she stepped away, but she wanted me to review it on the replay. So here's 1, 2, 3 load.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'm on the load board, on module 2 on the load boards, and this is for the new people too. This is where you go.
No, I'm here.
Okay, I got you. So module 2, this is where you go for the load boards, and I'm going to answer Aria's question at the same time. When you're looking to log into the load boards, this is the load board area. All right, so I'm going to click 1, 2, 3 load board, and where's your power only person based out of, Aria?
Atlanta.
Oh, they're in a good area.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna minimize this. I'm gonna find a load. Okay, and we're gonna say, so the origin, you pick up loads from a shipper, the origin, always the shipper, you're picking a load up from, and always the receiver, you deliver a load to. Pick up from the shipper, deliver to the receiver, okay? Atlanta, Georgia. Right here, it says power only. Okay, I'm gonna check that box. I'm gonna say the radius, I'm assuming they don't want a deadhead no more than what, 100 miles maybe, Aria?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna say anywhere. You can say city, specific city and state, states or multiple states, or you can just say anywhere in the US or Canada. I'm gonna uncheck Canada and just say, and I'm gonna leave everything else open, okay? So I got 19 loads for power only coming out of Atlanta within a 100-mile radius going anywhere, right? So in 1, 2, 3 load board, the first thing I do is I push the loads up that are paying the most to the top. And to do that, I just hit the offer. Someone said, when you show us the search, can you do a call as well? Not at 7 o'clock at night, I doubt it, but I probably will do it on the weekends, like Saturday and Sunday, because it's during the day. And there are brokers that are open on the weekend. So here we go. Here's a power only unit. These are power only units coming out of, okay, College Park, which is, are you in Atlanta too, Aria? In the area? Okay, so you know where College Park is, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. So these are power only loads, truck loads picking up 36, the trailer's 36 feet, or the freight in the truckload is 36 feet, and different dimensions here. So you can open up these loads and see, well, this is the same broker, one-way trailers, all these. So this might be what's called a loadout. It could be. Let me open it up and see.
The problem I'm running into is they only want to run in certain areas.
Okay, so what areas, like states?
Yeah, they only want to run in certain states.
Okay, so let's go back to our search. And instead of selecting anywhere, I'm going to select the states. So what states do they want to run in?
Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee.
Okay, we just selected those states. So let's see now what we get. Nothing.
No, that's probably why they're having so many issues trying to find stuff. Because I even looked on 2 different load boards, and
So
I thought I was doing something wrong.
I'm gonna go back to anywhere and then see.
Hey Charles, just quick. If we're gonna expand the 50 miles more, it's going to be, I guess, 1 load.
Yeah. So in the edit part, I see what you're saying. So if you expand it 50 miles more, 150, let's say 200, just to be, and that's the absolute max if it's paying well. So now you got 5 loads. So, but you got to go like this one here, going from Trenton. You got to go pick it up in Trenton, Georgia, which is 100 miles away from Atlanta. So it depends on where your guy. He's in Atlanta, in the metropolitan area. He got to go to Trenton to pick up a trailer and then take it to North Carolina, Charlotte. 10,000 pounds. It doesn't have a rate that it pays. Total TQL is it? It's a 53-foot trailer. Let's open this up and see what type it is. It's a towaway. So there's different types of power-only loads. You got dropping hooks, load-outs, towaways. What a towaway is you're taking a loaded trailer from a distribution center to a distribution center. Okay? What a load-out is they'll give you an empty trailer for about 7 to 10 days to use. And they'll say, okay, take this empty trailer from Atlanta to Norfolk, Virginia. Get it there within 7 to 10 days. And in that 7 to 10 days, you can put loads in there as long as by the 10th day, you have it empty in Norfolk, Virginia. So you can make money in between. That's called a load out. This is a towaway. You've already got a trailer that's already loaded, and you're picking it up and taking it to its destination. And it doesn't have a rate for it. I don't know what your power only guy wants for cents per mile area or not. Unmute yourself.
It's $1.80.
They want $1.80 a mile.
It's $1.80.
So if he wants $1.80 a mile, and this is going 331 miles, remember how I showed you to find rates when it's not posted by the broker, right? You take the amount that your guy wants, $1.80 a mile.
Yeah,
and you multiply it by the loaded miles, 331. I would include the deadhead, because if he's in Atlanta, he got to drive 100 miles. So I'm going to multiply it by 441, right? So I'm going to say $1.80 times 431 miles, 775. So I'll say 800 bucks. But remember, you're charging a flat rate or a percentage, right?
Yeah, 5%.
You're charging 5%. Ouch. Okay. Yes, Amazon would be like a towaway, Latoya. So 5% of, let's say 800, that's 40 bucks. You're not ready to make no money on that one, right? 800 times 5%, 40 bucks. So that's 840. So now you round it up to 900. So you asked for 900 for total quality to go from Trenton, Georgia to Charlotte, North Carolina. And you may get that because right now it is a carrier's market. The carriers, they can get good rates. It's a carrier's market. It's not a broker's market. The carriers are winning right now. The season, March is usually the turnaround time from having shoddy loads to start to have good paying loads to springtime, because season's coming around, the snow is going away, the weather's changing, things like that. So from March to about close to the end of the year, around the holiday season, you can start getting good rates again. I'm not sure if that's true for power only, but I know it's true across the three major equipment types. And that's another reason why I stress focusing on the three major equipment types starting out, okay? But this is your power only example here. Hopefully that helped.
Yeah, it did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Curtis Steen, I think you had your hand up.
Can you explain the drop and hook?
Drop and hook is just you're just pulling up to a facility, and you're hooking to a trailer that's already been loaded. It's not a live load. It's been preloaded. You're hooking up to that trailer, taking it to another facility and dropping it there. So you're hooking and dropping. They call it drop and hook, but it's actually hook and drop because you're getting something and you're taking it somewhere else. Okay.
Okay, so I'm trying to distinguish the difference between that and the towaway, because you're still picking up something and dropping it off.
Right.
Right.
So it depends on the facility and the broker and the shipper that broker has the contract with. So DCs, distribution centers, usually do a lot of drop and hooks, right? Because these are already preloaded. Anything outside of DCs are more towaways, like little small mom and pop shippers and things like that. Okay. But
Okay.
I mean, honestly, they are. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
The top thing I would say is they need to fast, and they bro. I ain't gonna lie, fasting would be my biggest thing.
Okay, I don't know if somebody was talking to me or someone else. So, all right. So, new people, right? Going back to the new people, and I see some hands raised. Let me answer some questions real quick. All right. Let me scroll through here and see whose hand was raised. LaDonna.
Yes. Hey, Charles. Can
Hey.
you talk about, I know you said tow away. I didn't catch what the loadout was.
The loadout is you're taking empty trailers, like a broker may give you an empty trailer to take from Atlanta to New York City, Brooklyn, one of the boroughs, right? And they'll give you like 7 to 10 days to do that empty. In that process, you can use that trailer to put loads in and your carrier can make money off of that. But by the time they get to that 7 to 10 day periods, and they have to be in Brooklyn with an empty trailer. But they can, and you need trailer interchange insurance to be able to use to do loadouts as well, like between 40 and 75,000 trailer interchange insurance. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Charles.
All right. I saw one more hand. Brandon Love.
Hey, how you doing today?
Yes.
Quick question.
Mhm.
So I know you said that the Truckers Path search was down. So I wanted to know, could you show us the other one that you was talking about for us to look at?
Yeah.
And then when exactly do you think is a good time for us to start like communicating with these carriers? If all of our detailed stuff isn't like the LLC and all that, like, should we start just getting going and kind of see where we get with it, or what do you think?
Exactly. Because while you're waiting for your business side to come into play, you can use that same time, kill two birds with one stone, use that same time to go after carriers and get them under a dispatch agreement. Because by the time you send a dispatch agreement to the carrier and they take forever possibly to get it back to you, your business would have already been formed. You see?
Okay.
So, because who knows the speed of which a carrier is going to return a dispatch agreement to you, right? So,
Right.
So what was I just talking to them about? Let's go to the load boards again in module 2, and I want to go to DAT Truckers Edge and open up the DAT directory. Okay, let me log out of here. 1, 2, 3. Let's log into that direct. I might show another one too on Trucking Planet. There should be a truck feature on Trucking Planet as well, but let's go to the DAT directory. I'm gonna log into, I'm not gonna use the load board because I'm seriously considering moving this one out because of the whole one person in, kick one out stuff. So I'm gonna log in anyway. And then I'm gonna go to tools and select DAT directory. Once that comes up to the other tab, I'm gonna go ahead and log out and let the other person who was in there use it, because all I wanted was DAT directory, okay? So here's the DAT directory, and I wanna use it in conjunction with Safer, right? The Safer website to kind of vet them out still to make sure that they are not part of a brokerage, just to have that information, all right? The Safer website is what we use to kind of vet out the carriers to make sure that they're not already under a brokerage, because you're calling brokers to book, if you're calling brokers to book loads for a carrier that's already under a brokerage, that's double brokering. That's a no-no, okay? So we use Safer to kind of eliminate that possibility for you, to save you that headache, all right? So I'm gonna go to the Safer website under our tools and resources. This image right here, I'm gonna click that image, it opens up the Safer in another. All right, so under that directory, you got 4 tabs. The first tab is what we use, search directory, research new business partners. Click that, okay? Comes here. I'm gonna leave company name blank. Company type, I wanna select, I'm looking for what? Carriers, right? So I'm gonna select carrier. And then I need to put a city and a state for the carriers to look for. So I need a city and state from someone.
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas, DFW, the Metroplex. All right. So 777 cities over there, right? So I'm gonna select Texas. And then the radius, I'll say, let's say 150 miles standard. And then I'm gonna sort the results by company name and then hit search. Okay. So now this is what you get. Okay. It says your search has resulted in more than 500 matches. Please refine your search, right? So 500 matches. So this white space is like that because you haven't selected any of the companies yet to look up their information. If you choose one, let's say we choose one, let's say, I don't know, let's say the first one. Click that. It's going to populate the white space with data for that company that you chose. If you select another one, it does the same thing. Okay, so on and so forth, right? Goes to that one, click that, it goes to that, okay? So we got 5-star Oasis and delivery and logistics. They are the Grand Prairie. So now you see all the data in here. So under office information, they are a carrier as far as company type. So sometimes you may need, it's good to have Safer, but sometimes it has the information in here for you. Under general information section, you have their MC number, their entity type, they are a carrier, so they're not a broker. You could look the MC up just to verify it, 107939. You can go to Safer, look that MC number up, 107939, and they are a carrier. Their entity type is carrier, so it just corresponds. Now they got 18 trucks and 14 drivers, 18 trucks, okay? But let's go back to the directory and see if we can determine what the equipment type is, unless we have to call them and ask them. But let's scroll down. So we got their DOT information. They have an active common carrier authority. They only have 750,000 insurance. They need 1 million to book loads. So that's a red flag. Their safety information. Let's see if they got an equipment section. And they do right here under the equipment section. So they got power units. They got 4 reefer trailers, reefers, okay? So you can decide if you want to call them, if you want to get into the reefer, which is one of the 3 major equipment types, you want to get into the reefer space and call them, okay? So this is the DAT directory. It's not Trucker's Path, but it is another option to use to call a carrier. Let's do another one. So we hit 936 LLC. Okay, let's go back to, what was that one? 5-star Oasis. Someone asked the question, why did you say 750,000 insurance was a red flag? Because it's not a red flag that they shouldn't have it. 750,000 is the minimum for to be insured as an active carrier, okay? So let's scroll back down to the insurance section. So they got liability insurance, BIPD. BIPD stands for bodily injury, property damage. That's liability, okay? The minimum requirement for their insurance coverage, which they got through United Wisconsin Insurance Company, is 750,000, okay? But most brokers require 1 million to move loads with them. That's why I said it's a red flag. They may have to up, if they want the better paying loads, then they should consider upping their coverage, calling their insurance company and bringing that coverage up another 250,000 to 1 million. That's what I meant by being a red flag, okay?
Hey, talk.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of carriers on there only have 750,000. I've seen that.
Right.
I'm like, how they getting with these brokers?
Right, because I say most brokers, not all. You got some brokers that'll let carriers through with 750, but most brokers, the better paying loads is going to require 1 million. And the reason is because those brokers' customers, who are the shippers, the value of their freight and the liability, liability that they require is 1 million. Okay. Nisa had a question. I thought I saw Nisa's.
Yes, sir. Hey, Mr. Charles. So on DAT directory, when I was using it, if you click on the DOT number or the authority number, it takes you to the Safer website.
That's correct.
Is there a difference between the two, or it's just all the same?
No, there you go, right there. It's the same. It's the exact same thing. You just got to enter right there. You just got to. I'm not a robot, and then you'll. I hate these things. I always get them wrong the first time, but you know.
It didn't come up for me. It just automatically took me to the website, the Safer site. So I didn't have that problem.
It didn't take you to the snapshot section of the Safer. It took you directly to the back end of it, where it's going to show their insurance information right here. And it's going to open it up right here. But if you are in the DAT directory looking at their insurance, it shows you the exact same thing on Safer in the DAT directory under insurance. So if we go back up to their insurance, right here, here's the section right here, the DOT, they have an active common carrier. They're not a broker, and they're not a contracted carrier. They're not a broker. They're an active common carrier, okay? So they work interchangeably. They work interchangeably. And you can click that number and go to the Safer and see that. Let's see, is that directly a part of the DAT load board? How do I access? I will show you once again on the DAT directory part. In this case, why they don't have 100,000 cargo, because sometimes they have cargo coverage. It's just not listed there. They do have the cargo coverage. It's just not listed. Okay. Let's see. Random question. As an LLC, how much insurance should we have? As a dispatcher, I don't have any insurance as an LLC. I'm working from home. I'm none, zero. Let me put that in big bold letters. Zero. Save your money. Send it to me. I'll form an LLC insurance company for dispatchers. Okay. So back up to the other question, showing how to get to the DAT directory. So let's do it again. I'm gonna X out of it, and I'm gonna X out of Safer even. And let's go back to module 2, which is our load board logins. And click in the image here and scroll through the different load boards. I'm gonna do Trucking Planet next to see about looking up carriers too. And let's see here. Let's go back. that directory, right? I mean, not that directory, but that Trucker's Edge. And then you click the link and it takes you to the tab for that specific load board. And in module 2, you should see a PDF that would have all, right here, the PDF will have all of the username and password logins in the same order of where the load boards are listed in the back office under module 2. So if you click the PDF, I recommend printing it out, downloading it to your computer, so you will always have the username and passwords for those of you who are new, okay? So let me log in. And to get to that directory from Trucker's Edge, you're gonna go to the left-hand side once you log in, and under Tools, right? Under Tools right here, the drop-down arrow, right here, it says that directory. You click that, and it opens up that directory. Now I'm gonna go back and log out again because I'm not using Trucker's Edge. I'm using that directory, okay? And that's how you get it. You go through the Tools menu when you first log into that Trucker's Edge, okay? Let's try, let me see, because I haven't had a chance to really thoroughly navigate Trucking Planet, but let me try Trucking Planet also. I'm gonna leave that directory up. But carriers, so we got dry van carriers, flatbed, step deck, truckload carriers, refrigerated carriers, reefer, hot shots, LTL, box truck, sprinters, tankers, hazmat, all these types. So I'm assuming, because I really haven't had a chance to thoroughly look this up, but these are the carriers here, okay?
Hey, Charles, Mr. Charles, hey, that's how I found my first 2 carriers, man, from Truck Planet, because the other one wasn't working. And so, man, I put in all of my stuff, put where I actually, that I wanted regular dry van or whatever, man. And I just started calling them, man. And I actually had some pretty good results with them and everything. I sent out a few carrier packages. Only one guy actually sent me one back. But man, this another pretty good one that you actually gave us. I appreciate that too.
So you look for the carriers under where it says carriers.
Yeah, I went to carrier and then I clicked on the first one to dry van. And and then I clicked on there. And when I clicked on there, then I just started going through. And what I did was I started looking for the ones that actually had multiple units, because I just figured that, well, you may have more than one. You might have, right there. So I just said, well, maybe you have more than one unit or whatever. You might want to. And actually, the first guy that I called, he had like 6 units. So I actually told him, hey, I told him I was a new independent dispatcher, just trying to see if he had some units that he was under a load, or if he needed a load. He was out of Houston. He told me that he wanted to try to go towards Atlanta and then push towards Florida by the end of the week. Right. So I told him, hey man, let me go ahead and send you a carrier package, man. And while you're doing that, man, let me see if I can find something for you. And he said, actually, I have 3 units that's empty right now. I said, well, hey, that's even better. Let me see what I could do for you. Right. And man, he actually sent me the information back. I got him a load and everything. And I told him, I said, hey man, I'm not going to even lie, because I'm a new dispatcher. I said, man, I'm going to give you the first one for free, man, just because you called me back and everything. And man, the dude still called me back, man. And he was like, hey, because you did what you did for me, man, and I really appreciate that. He said, hey, I'm going to keep your name in my company database, man, and I'm going to remember you and everything. And he even told me, hey, I'm going to put your name out to other guys, who may. And I say, man, I really appreciate that. And he asked me, did I have a website? I said, no, I don't have a website, but I do have an e-card. I sent him my e-card and all that good stuff right there, man. So yeah, this right here, it worked out real, real well, man. I made some more calls and sent out some carrier packets, but they haven't returned them as of yet.
But that's a good thing you did, man. That's good. That's good how that worked, man. And you have a very very good disposition about yourself. I can tell it in your tone, and that's cool how you did that too. That's cool. You're gonna get blessed for that, bro. I'm not even worried about that. Now, how long have you been in this training program?
Man, I just signed up with you last week. The Sunday before last Wednesday was my first actual Zoom. This Ladarius.
Right. I remember.
Last week, last week was my first actual.
I'm asking for a reason because we got guests on here who are considering joining, and we got people in here who are been here a while and may have trouble finding carrier. So you haven't even been here a month, and you've gotten the carrier, booked the load, and everything.
Oh yeah, I got a carrier, man. Like I said, he owned 5 units. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, I said, here's my phone number. And I actually got, I used my Google and actually got a second line. So I know that every time that line rings, then I know that's nothing but money. And I told him, I said, hey, I don't care, what time it is, man. I said, if your driver gets stuck somewhere and they need a load coming out, I said, man, I'm going to try to hook you up and help you out. And he said, all right, then cool, and he was real happy with it and everything. And so, yeah, it worked out real good for me, man. It did.
That's good, brother. That's good. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Someone asked, so what's the e-card? They want to know, what is an e-card? Someone wanted to know what an e-card is.
Okay, so an e-card, so because I hadn't went through Vistaprint.com or whatever, I just went to, what do you call it? Oh, PowerPoint, I got a little bitty logo, they just so happen to have a truck logo on there. I already have my actual company name, my LLC, my actual company address and everything. So I just put everything on there. I actually emailed it to myself. So then all I do is just send it to carriers, instead of me having a physical card, especially when I'm talking to them. It's easier to just, hey man, you mind if I just go ahead and shoot you my e-card real quick, that way you can have it, if you ever need a load, you can think about me. So that's what I did, man. I just, a little old bitty, and it took me like 5 minutes, just messing around with PowerPoint. That's
a great marketing strategy right there.
Yeah, and it's free, especially for somebody, you just starting your business, man. You want to try to keep his overhead as less as possible until you start actually bringing in some constant money and everything. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to go and get a whole lot of stuff that we really don't need at this particular point in time. And then, you started paying out of your pocket now because you still hurting your personal pocket until you start bringing money into your business. So I just figured, man, you know what, instead of me going out and getting 1,000 cards or whatever, and I'm passing them out and people using them for whatever they use them for, man, let me just do one on PowerPoint and email it to myself, and then everybody I talk to, I just say, hey, do you mind if I and I even just emailed the you see how they actually have the email address and everything right there,
right? You just,
man, while I'm looking for carriers, man, I just shoot the emails out there and shoot the e-card out there, man. Somebody will respond. If you send it out 10 times and it's free because you made it on PowerPoint, or you could do it on Word, just putting in an image and all of that stuff right there, man. If you could shoot it out 10 times and one person call you, and you sign them up, then hey, look, it did its job. You know what I mean?
There you go. Great information, man. I appreciate that, LD, and congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
That's the first I've heard that you got a carrier and booked loads. So yeah, and you've only been on here about 2 weeks, not even a month. So that just
man. I told you, man. I used to stalk your page, man, and I used to definitely, man. Look, I'm telling you, man, it was something that I wanted, and I kept thinking because there's so many out there, I didn't necessarily know which one to go through. And then when I watched one of your Dispatch 101 trainings on YouTube one day, man, and I was I forget the young lady name, man, she had the dreads or whatever. She's on here right now. She's always asking a question, and she asked the question, and you broke it down, and I was like, man, forget all of this, man. This is where I want to be. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stay in here until I master this or whatever. And I immediately, man, went on and logged in and everything. And as soon as you emailed me back, I was like, okay, yeah, man. And I've just been looking at those videos over and over and over, man. And my daughter, she's only 8, and I told her, I said, hey, look, let me show you something. Look, this is how you're gonna make this money. And you learn this now. You don't have to worry about ever working for anybody else. So
I just saw you had your daughter on. That was your daughter you just put on, right?
Yeah, my baby girl, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, Layla, man. Yeah, and I didn't even realize because sometimes my computer it flash in and out, so I didn't even realize that I was on. I was like, oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, that's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine. That's a young
yeah,
princess. She's gonna be a young entrepreneur. That's good. So
yes sir, yes
we
sir.
got other people on here. I didn't even realize we got other. So wait a minute. Let me stop for a minute. I mean, it's getting closer anyway. But so who else on here has been on here just a short period of time, got a carrier under a dispatch agreement, and booked a load for them?
Nobody.
No, someone else just tried. Cherie just said. Cherie said yes. We have 4 carriers and booked loads as well in 2 weeks. Cherie Karika, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly.
Hey, congratulations, Sharif. Congratulations. Yeah.
Man, so you know what? That's good. He needs a check for a spokesperson for Exodus. So I tell you what, this is what I'm gonna do, and because that makes me feel good inside because it just reaffirms that what I'm showing you guys is helping you. So Sharik, so if you send me a copy of your Raycon LD that you booked that load, and it's Cherie Carrick, if I'm pronouncing the name right, if you send me a copy of that rate confirmation, I'm going to reimburse you what you paid for this training. You understand me?
Oh, bet.
I'm going to reimburse you what you paid for this training. So $399, $349, whatever it was.
Yes, sir.
Reimburse you. All right.
Yes, sir.
So send me the
I sure will.
And whoever and Sharika and whoever else you booked that load in that short period of time, send me that Raycon because I just want to make sure because it reaffirms the learning curve. And I'm not saying that other people don't get it. I'm just saying I'm happy that people are getting it and learning it. So that's good. That's good. So and it's a blessing. So
man, can I say one more thing? I'm sorry. Hey, you know what I did, man? So I've been in prison, man, and I told myself, I said, man, you know what? I'll never. Before I went to prison, I was making $180,000 a year, and I went to prison for protecting my family because I'm a Special Forces Marine, and they say, oh well, you should have knew better. I was cool with that. I just made the decision I would never put myself in that situation again. So I went and talked to some brothers, and I said, say, man, I said, and I'm on parole right now, just so I be transparent. I don't have anything to hide or whatever case may be. But I told somebody, I said, hey, I told some brothers that I went to go visit. I said, say, man, look, they say it's hard out here, man, but it's only hard if you make it hard. I said, hey, let me show you something. And I told them, I said, this is what I'm doing. I just did this Saturday. I say, man, let me show you what I'm doing. So I just played a little clip, man, or whatever of one of your dispatcher 101 trainings. And I said, say, man, I said, I don't work for this dude. I said, I don't even know the guy besides follow him on YouTube, besides staying on his Instagram page, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. I said, I don't know this dude, man. I said, but God just so happened to bless me to find this dude's video. I was sitting up in the bed listening to his video one day. I just kept watching him over and over because he had so many. I said, and so now I'm telling you, look, man, if you wanna not ever come to a place like this right here, this is the type of stuff you need to do. So I just played part of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I hope that's okay. I probably should have got your permission first, so I really do apologize, man. But
listen, anything that's going to bless someone else, you think I'm gonna be in the way of that? No.
No. Yeah.
No, not at all. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't even know your whole story, so I'm definitely going to give you your money back. And then, of course, matter of fact, I need to write that down because I got selective amnesia, so I forget stuff. But LD and Cherie, I think it was Cherie Carrick. I keep mispronouncing the name, but just all you got to do, you got one assignment. All you got to do.
I'm definitely shooting that to you, man.
Yeah, both of you on this recording. This is a recording, so
yeah.
Go back and say I never said that. I can't do that. Right? So, but yeah, and your story is an excellent testimony for those. Even though you've been where you were and things like that, you don't let that become a deterrent or an obstacle for you, right? There are ways around doing things in life, so And this industry is an excellent way to make a comeback. And so, you know, that's great, brother. I'm glad you shared that. That's a motivation for those who are listening. Maybe someone needed to hear that, right? It may not have been me, it may not have been you. It maybe someone needed to hear that, right? And maybe someone needed to hear how you booked the load, you found carriers as motivation. Sometimes you need to hear realistic things, right? I mean, we talk about dispatching, we talk about things in life and everything like that, but sometimes you need to hear life, right? So that's good.
Yeah.
Just email me. I think you got my email, but if you not, I'm gonna put my email.
Yeah, I do. No, I already got it. Because you and I talked a couple of times through the email or whatever when I first signed up and everything. So yeah, you send me all of the information that I needed and how to get into my back office. Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, right, I got it again right here. Thank you.
So send me a copy of the Raycon, and the moment you send it, the moment you'll get reimbursed. And
appreciate that, brother.
I'll check the spreadsheet for the amount. I think it's $3.99. So
okay, no, I ain't, man. Look, man, whatever you bless me with, man, because sometimes you have to put yourself, you have to be able to go out there on faith, man. And this for anybody who's listening, not trying to take over your call or whatever, but man, once again, I thought I was on top of the world, bro, and just by chance, man, running into your particular video on YouTube. And so I'm like, all right, man, you know what? Okay, another video. I just clicked on it and was listening. And as you start explaining stuff, man, I sat up and then I was like, okay, hold on. And like I said, the sister who she's been on here, man, she be inspiring me because she always asked a lot of questions.
Curtis Steen, she right here now. Hey, Curtis Steen.
Yeah, man. Yeah, say, man. Yeah, big ups to her, man. So I was like, when she started asking something, and I was like, well, wait a minute, man. All right, let me go and sit on up, man, because they might be talking about something. And so, you know, I turned the TV off and went on, turned the volume on up, man. And I was like, okay. So I got through that video, and man, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, man. I watched about 3 or 4 videos. I was like, I got to give me some of this right here. I got to learn this right here because man, you give it to us real, and then man, you give it to us to a point where anybody can do it, man. You know, so you know, and once again.
So with that being said, too, I'm about to issue a challenge, too. So anyone who's in here, if you're from your enrollment date and exactly a month, if you book a load from your enrollment date within that month, I will reimburse you. That goes for anybody. I will reimburse you what you pay to enroll in this course, no matter the amount. Okay, so if you enroll today and a month before a month is out, that you booked the load within that, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before that next month, and you book the load, you get your money back. So essentially, you pretty much in for free, right?
Yo, yeah.
Hey, I need to book me a load like a month.
Let me issue another challenge. If you so you book the load. So I'm gonna give you guys some motivation, and LD helped me out in this thing. I'm just feeling it, right? So. First month, if you enroll, your enrollment day, let's say today's the 17th, and the 17th of April, before that 17th of April comes, you book that load, you get reimbursed for your enrollment. Let's say 2 months out, you book a load within 2 months, I will cancel your subscription, the monthly subscription. You ain't got to pay a dime. You just pay the enrollment. You see what I'm saying? So there we go. So I'm giving you a month and 2 months. You see?
And
I'm still going to train you with all my heart, with everything I know, everything. It don't even matter, right? So that should tell you right there, I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for the money. I'm trying to literally show you guys this industry, you can make money in the industry. If I tell you, I'm not even dispatching anymore right now. If I tell you how much I made, you guys will be like, there's no way. But I can't say that because y'all find my address, come look for me. I got to move and everything. I ain't trying to do all that. I got a wife. I ain't got time for all that. So, but so if you book a load within the first month, you get reimbursed. If you book a load within 2 months, I'll cancel the subscription, the monthly subscription. Okay. This is a recording. I'm saying this on, right? So this is a recording.
You need to put this in book form, man. I guarantee you, man, that there's some bros that's down there, man, in that form, man. That man will definitely, man. I'm telling you, man, them brothers will read this and man be ready to get it for real.
Yeah, well, I got the ebooks. I got the 3 ebooks, but I need to redo the ebooks. I need to come out with different versions to structure it a little bit better. But yeah, so I didn't mean to. We got a few minutes. I didn't mean to have church or anything, but so we can get back. So, but LD and Cherie, you guys are getting reimbursed once you send me your rate confirmation as proof that you booked it. And I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just need, I run a business, so I have to have documentation. Okay, so to justify.
Oh, very understandable.
Yeah. So what I'm doing on my side, that's the reason why I'm doing it. So, so we got the resources. So LD just proved that we can use Trucking Planet to find carriers too. So so as an alternative, while we're waiting for Truckers Path to come back into existence, if you will, we can use Trucking Planet, and we can use the DAT directory. So we got 2 other resources. I was going to suggest a third one, the Quick Transport Solutions, but most of the carriers on there, they're either not authorized or anything. I don't even use that because it's kind of outdated, even though I have it in the back office under tools and resources, I believe. Let me go here real quick to look at that. Man, if my mother was alive right now, she'll be speaking in tongue right now, talking. If she heard me talk, jumping around, running around, she's a very spiritual person. She was a very spiritual person. So she'd have been running all around the house. I'd be like, Mom, sit down somewhere, please. So, but that's fine, you know. So, so let's go to, I think it's in here, Quick Transport Solutions. I believe it's back here in this part. There it is right there, Quick Transport Solutions. So with Quick Transport Solutions, it's a good resource, but a lot of the results, the carriers are, the companies are either they don't have an authority anymore, they're outdated and things like that, but I'll still show you how to navigate it in case you do find a company that you can use and call. So when you first click Quick Transport Solutions, where it says resources, click that, and it should have, well, if it works, under resources, it should have, there we go. Under resources, it has search trucking companies, okay? So now you click on search trucking companies, and then you come up to this screen right here, okay? On this screen, you want to select a specific state. Someone give me a state.
Virginia.
Virginia. Someone said Virginia. Who's in Virginia? What part of it? I'm in Virginia. What part of Virginia you're in?
I'm not in Virginia. I'm in New York. I just threw a state out there.
Okay. All right. I'll say Virginia. I'm not going to select the city. I'm not going to select the company name. I just select the state so I can get all the options for that state. And then number of trucks, I'll say between 1 and 5. So starting out as new dispatchers, you don't want to get too overwhelmed. If you can handle between 1 and 5, that'll be good starting out, and then you should be okay. Trucks and trailers or tractors, 1 to 5. Operations, you want to do interstate, okay? Because you got intrastate, either hazmat or non-hazmat, but you don't want to do intrastate. You want to do interstate. The difference is, for those who don't know, interstate means you can cross state lines and go all over the country. What's called OTR, over the road. Intrastate, you're restricted to only travel within your state lines. Intrastate, okay? So that's the difference. So you select it, and then you hit search, and you get results once it's here. So you get page 1 of 4. See what it says, page 1 of 4, 264 results, okay? So, so now you just scroll down through the companies, and they show a little bit preliminary information. You got some advertisement right here, but that's fine. And then you just keep going, scrolling down the different trucking companies, and you should get to the bottom, and they got the page numbers, page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you pick one. Let's just pick one out of. And again, you can reference the Safer to kind of look up information about them to see if they are active or not. You can look up their MCDOT to see if they're active and reference that. Okay, so it's even timing out right here. So this might not be an option, but I'm just showing you how to navigate it. So let me exit out of this one and choose another one, another company. Let's choose DLS, see what they say. Oh, LD, what was the load board that LD said he booked a load, booked the carrier with?
It was hold on, Roy. The low board that I booked it with was Trucker's Path. I mean Trucker's Planet, Trucking Planet.
Okay, so you found the carrier on Trucking Planet and you found a load for them on Trucking Planet too?
Yeah.
So where'd you find the load? Under load board right here?
Yeah, and then I click on freight.
Freight.
And then once you click right, and then once you click on that freight right there, then he actually asked me. Hold on, real quick. I'm sorry, I got my brother on the phone also. All right, I'll tell her to call you. I mean, I'll tell her ask you where your visit is. All right, bye. All right, sorry about that, Mr. Charles. My brother was calling me. So once I went over there to look for a carrier and everything, I found him. Then what I did was I went on the load board. Let me see, because I actually still have it pulled up over here. Because I can't see a whole lot of stuff on your screen, man. I got bad eyes, bro. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Let me see.
It says post load. This one says post load for load board freight. Empty trucks. View empty trucks. You can look for empty trucks in here. Post empty trucks and send emails. So there's different ways to do it under the freight and under the load board.
Yeah. So then you view the freight, and then when you view the freight, then you just go down and you see you look at the criteria. Now what I did was I clicked on the from state because I know he was coming from Texas and he wanted to go initially towards Florida. So then when I clicked on the from state, then of course it put it in alphabetical order. So I just went all the way down to Texas.
Right.
And so then when I went all the way down to Texas, then I said, okay, then I have a map, I pulled up that Google map or whatever. And I said, okay, well, he want to go towards the East Coast or whatever. So let me see, something that's going over towards that way. Of course, he already in Houston and everything. So when I looked at it, I said, okay, then let me just see where he want to go and different things like that. You know what I mean? So I said, all right, he want to go East Coast. So we're going to shoot him over towards that way. Well, I just looked at the map so I know which way he want to go. The good thing about it is with this right here, with the carriers, it tell you when you click on the carriers, it tell you where they want to run to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it kind of avoids a whole lot of that. So when you're looking at it, then you automatically see where they want to go to or whatever because you're looking at it. When you click on freights, click on dry van. For instance, you click on somebody, well, it tells you the lanes they want to run from and then the lanes that they want to run to.
Right.
So then you kind of have some talking points. Hey man, I see that you over in Houston, man, you trying to shoot towards, it look like you want to go towards Florida or whatever, man. I was looking on the load board. I see that there's a load coming out of Houston, man. If you're still in Houston, are you under a load right now or whatever? But it just so happened when I called him, then he kind of already had told me what he wanted and everything. And so while I was looking for it, he told me, hey, he want to initially go towards Florida. So I know you want to go towards the East Coast. So I just looked at all other regions towards that particular zone. If you click back up there on the freight, then it kind of shows you the different zones and everything. If you just click on freight itself, go on the load board and click on freight, it'll tell you the first thing it says, which area does the shipment originate.
Right.
Well, it gives you the different regions or whatever, so you can know what to look for going towards that particular way.
Right. There you go. So if you want to go from Atlanta and then go to the northeast or to the southeast or wherever, like we could choose southeast. If the status, whether it's open or whether it's hot, urgent, low, freight, rate needed. So you can choose different criteria before you go in there and look for the loads.
Right, and then it's gonna break it down for you.
Right. So post freight for now and post regular freight movements. You just select. So I need to go ahead and do some thorough breaking down just to get a better, clearer understanding. But you seem to got it. You have it.
No, man, I just look, man, I don't have nothing else to do, man, because I'm sitting at home. So I just play with the different, with the different stuff, try to get familiar with it. But if you click on freight and then if you go on freight and then you click on view freight, then that's where you can actually look also, you know what I mean, to try to look at, select your equipment type, and then you also can select your state or whatever. So, okay, let me look at Houston. Then once you look at Texas, you just try to find you something in Houston, and then you just try to get something shooting over towards where the guy wants to be or whatever. If you looking up his name and everything and you see that he wants to run certain lanes, then when you call him, you can already tell him, hey man, well, I was just doing some research and I see that, they got about 6 loads going towards where you want to go to. If you empty or whatever, I can go ahead and shoot you a carrier, a dispatch carrier agreement, man, and we can go ahead and I can start putting some money in your pocket,
Right. There you go. There you go.
Is that weekly saying that is that a weekly run every week is going that lane?
Yeah, that's the frequency of. So whoever's the broker or the shipper, the frequency and the status of the load is open, and it's open. The loads are coming out of there weekly. You may have year round, maybe twice a week, maybe daily. So you can actually put this in order. If you hit the arrow right here, it'll put it in order. Year round.
Okay.
Week, things like that. So you got year round freight coming out of weekly, daily, loads coming out of daily. And then the open, urgent, hot, those are just the statuses of the loads. Whether it's a hot load that needs to get out there like right now, it should have got out there yesterday. If it's open, available, if it's a regular shipping lane, different statuses. Bids needed for upcoming shipments. So there's different status requirements too. So hot, urgent shipment, that means you can negotiate a better rate. That means it needs to get gotten out of there already. So yeah, you guys are getting this stuff down. You're picking it up. Good, great. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta make sure I note down this. Any other questions before we wind down? Especially for the guests and the beginners, I want to make sure that I know you guys just came on, so day one, night one, you're not gonna get everything, but this is recorded.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes, David.
Yeah. So I guess my biggest thing is I'm trying to just get used to and comfortable with using computers and saving everything. But what I'm asking is I got my little dispatch carrier agreement made up and it looks pretty damn good. However, I'm trying to figure out how to make it editable through PDF, and I haven't found a free PDF tool to use to make various parts editable that I want them to add to.
Because
when I send it to them to fill out.
Probably because there's not a free version of it.
Okay. All right. Well, bet then. All right. Then I'm all right. I'll go buy something in tonight and get to the next step then.
Yeah. So you got DocuSign, DocHub, or PDF Filler. Those are the popular ones to use.
I mean, I bought a couple of programs, like apps from Microsoft and all that stuff. So I bought some, but it's just I'm guessing it's operator error because I just drive a truck. I started this video and I drove back 70 miles listening to you guys talk. I just couldn't say nothing because I got a camera in my face.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll just do a little bit more digging because I really want to get some carriers too, and I'm hearing everybody's stories motivated me as well. So I just need to get
Lisa just said you can sign up with DocuSign for free for 30 days. There's a 30-day sign.
Okay, hey, I appreciate that. Thanks for the information. It's very helpful.
All right. Anyone else?
Hi, Charles. I have another question. Back to starting up the business. If you already have a trucking business, do you need to file a new LLC for the dispatching business, and should you get a separate business account?
if you have a trucking company and a business, and you are going to, of course, you're going to start off, I'm assuming you're going to be dispatching your own trucks for your trucking company, right?
That's correct.
And then eventually are you going to be also dispatching other trucks outside of your trucking company?
Yes.
So then I would consider doing a DBA under that trucking company, or create a separate. So you got two options: DBA under the trucking company, or a separate business, LLC business for the dispatching side, to keep it separate. Because if you're going to be working with separate, especially if those trucks outside of your trucking company are going to be of different equipment types than what you have in your trucking company, then I would suggest doing it separate.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Where do you, so the Raycon on, where do you see, Eleni, where do you see the Raycon on trucking? You don't see the rate confirmation on Trucking Planet. You got to get the rate confirmation once you talk to the broker and get set up with the broker, do the carrier packet, all the other documents. Then the broker is going to send you a rate confirmation to sign to make it official. I don't think you're going to see it on Trucking Planet. Okay.
I was saying what the rate is when you're loading for them.
Oh,
when
what's the
you're
rate?
booking for them.
Okay. Where do you see the rate on? Oh, I'm sorry, I misread that. I apologize. I don't think it's showing it. You may just have to call the broker and see what that rate, that load is paying. And then, but also too, if you know your carrier cents per mile. Here's another reason why I showed you guys how to figure out your starting points as far as your amounts. If you know the carrier cents per mile and you see where a load is picking up and delivering to, you get the loaded miles there, multiply that times your carrier cents per mile, put your percentage on top of that, and then when you call the broker, they'll probably try to negotiate a rate for you. You just tell them this is what we have in it. This is what we want out of that load. So, especially because obviously, Trucking Planet is not showing posted rates for the loads, okay? And let me see real quick, because I want to make sure.
Hey, Charles, it's LaDonna. My phone just cut off, but I'm back. Did you get my chat message about the secure site?
I can look at it. Let me see.
Okay, I can ask it. I was just saying that it said that it was not secure. That site wasn't. The Trucking Planet.
Trucker's Path. Or
is that good or bad? The site that LD Devon booked on.
Where is it saying that at?
It's not saying it now. I don't. That you right there. There it
oh,
is.
right there, right there. Yeah.
Is
Let me
that
log
good or
in.
bad?
That's fine. That's fine. That's not a big deal. I'm going to log in on my side here because I didn't even log in.
Okay.
And then maybe if I log in, it may show a rate once I log in. Let me see. Okay, so, and then let's save my login. So now I'm logged in under Exodus, Howdy Exodus or whatever. And okay, Kenesha, I'll answer your question real quick. Let me see about the rates real quick. Kenesha wants to know what is a carrier. A carrier packet is what the broker sends you or your carrier to fill out to get set up with that brokerage prior to booking that load with the rate confirmation. So it's the first piece of broker paperwork that's sent to your carrier that you fill out for your carrier, return that to the broker along with the other documents, the W-9, MC Authority, Certificate of Insurance, and NOA if they have a factoring company. So that packet, the carrier packet, is also called a broker carrier agreement, onboard packet, setup packet. They all mean the same thing, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, so I'm logged in now. So let me see if anything changes as far as rates and everything for LNE so I can see anything changes.
No, Mr. Charles, you have to call him. But since he had already told me since he had already told me what he was looking for, because of course you told, hey, how much is it gonna cost to, get your truck moving or whatever? Then he had already told me, what he wanted cent per mile.
Right.
But he said one of his trucks had been sitting for 2 days, so he just wanted to get it on the road. He said because it wasn't making any money or whatever. Then I said, okay. So I just called when I saw a load. I just called the broker and told him, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I just did, I did the math. I just, I went on Google and saw how far it was from Houston to Atlanta. And so then I just did the math of what he would have been looking for, I think it was like 230 per mile that he was looking for. So I just did the math, and then I told him, hey, when the broker told me what it was going to be, I was like, hey man, look, this is really what we're looking for.
Right. So let me stop you there. So let's do the math so people can hear what you mean, and let's break that down very, very concise, right? So when you get a dispatcher agreement and a profile back, your carrier says on the profile sheet what their cents per mile is. So in LD's case, he had a carrier that had a dry van, and your carrier wanted $2.30 a mile, right?
Right.
So let's say that you saw a load here on this load board, and the pickup and destination was like, I don't know, 600 miles, right? So the rate is not posted, but you got at least your carrier's cents per mile, and you got the load distance, the loaded miles that is going from pickup to destination. So doing the math, what LD is saying is he took his carrier's cents per mile, $2.30, and if you want to get your calculator out, we can go over this.
And multiplied it times 800.
Right, 600 in this case. We said 600 in the example. So $2.30.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, $2.30 times 600. What is that? Anybody?
And that's gonna give you 1380.
Okay, so 1380. So that's a starting point. So now you gotta. What else do you have to do? You have to add your.
You have to add your percentage or whatever on.
Fee, right. So what do you charge? So the dispatching fee, and this is for the newer people. The range of percentages is between 5 and 10%. For you can either charge a flat fee or a percentage range. Most new dispatchers go to the percentage range option. So that's between 5 and 10. Let's meet it in the middle. Let's say 7%. So now what is 7% of 1380? What is that amount?
Like 450. I mean like 1450.
Right. So
total.
$6.
96.
That's 96.
Right. He's adding the total number, but he went a step further. So 7% times 1380 is $96.60, right? So now you take that $96.60 and you add that back to the what? 1380.
1380.
And that gives you 1476. So I'm going to say 1500. You always go up. You always round up. 1500. So when you call the broker, this is what I mean when you have to know your numbers when you call the broker. And this is a good example of figuring out how to know your numbers calling the broker when there's a lot of information that's not provided to you, right? This load board doesn't show a posted rate, but you know the pickup and delivery location. You can Google that distance in Google, get the mileage. You know your carrier's cents per mile because they provided it to you on their carrier profile, $2.30 or whatever. So you know that. So you just simply do the math like we just did. You multiply your carrier cents per mile times the loaded miles. You get that number. Then you multiply that number times your percentage, and then you add that answer back to that original number. And then whatever you get there, of course, you round up to the nearest value in $50 increments, 1,500, 1,550, 1,450, whatever that is, right? And that's how you do it. Okay, so I got 2 hands raised. Let me see who they are. Nisa is the first one I see. Yes.
Yes, real quick, Mr. Charles. So when we get the documents back from our carrier, the W-9, the certificate of insurance and all of that, what is the easiest, most effective way for them to send that to us? Would it be to take a picture of it and then email it to us, or?
Yeah, they can either
Or
they can
the other
scan an email, take a picture and email, as long as you get it back where you can digitally manipulate it and send it to the broker in PDF or whatever format. They either take JPEGs, PDF, GIF format, GIF format. So those are the ways. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Julian, I think it was Julian or Julian had a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry about the background noise.
Okay.
But my question is, okay, so once you get that driver booked at a rate and the load and all that, and you get him sent to a destination, to keep from, I guess, overlapping bookings, we just need to keep up with the driver and find out when he's gonna be delivering and dropping the load, or how far do we need to go with this?
Okay, so let me answer that by an example. So let's say I'm your driver, you're my dispatcher, right? Okay, LD, go ahead. LD got to feed his little one. That's more important. Go ahead and feed your little one. Time with family is very important. All right. So let's say, Julian, that you booked a load for me. You're my dispatcher from Atlanta to Columbus, Ohio. Okay. The load picked up tomorrow, which is Thursday, the 18th of March. And it has to be in Ohio. So somebody Google the distance from Atlanta, Georgia to Columbus, Ohio. Give me that in miles, please. Right? So it picks up on the 18th tomorrow, which is Thursday. And let's say it delivers, let's say it delivers Monday. It delivered before Monday, but it delivers Monday, okay? So, let me see. No one gave me an answer for that Google Miles? Okay, I can do it. I can do it. So, we'll say
567.
567, very good.
I got 608.
Uh-oh, I got some discrepancies here.
Columbus,
Well, it's
Ohio.
around about the same, yeah.
Yeah, I got 569.
560. Okay. So let's just say 570. I'm gonna round up. Let's say 570. So that's about a day run. But let's say it delivers Saturday or the following Monday. They give you enough time. So as a dispatcher, you know when the load is on the Raycon, when it delivers in the time. And if you can book a load that same day, you have to factor in too the time frame when that carrier gets to the receiver to deliver the load, how long you estimate that load is going to take to offload, which is anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, depending on the facility. So if I were you, you know it delivers Monday, I would try to have a load out for them maybe Tuesday, early Tuesday to mid-morning Tuesday to get out of there, right? Because you also have to factor in, they deliver on Monday, you also got to factor in that driver may need to reset their hours for the day, that 10-hour reset. So that 10-hour reset, when they deliver that, that'll spill over on Monday into Tuesday. So you have to be mindful of that too. So as a
So basically just whatever day that they're going to deliver the first load, just try to book it for the very next day.
It depends on, there's several factors, there's several variables you have to consider. You have to consider the driver's hours of service and if they need to do a 10-hour reset, and you have to consider the time of day that they deliver that load to the receiver.
Okay.
It's going to be early morning, it's going to be later in the afternoon. If it's early morning, you may be able to catch a load later that day, depending on how far deadhead that driver has to go to pick up their next load. If it were me, I wouldn't take that chance. I would do it the very next day, because now you're covering all your bases. You're covering the time of deadhead miles, and you're covering reset hours if they have to do that. If you reschedule it for the following day, then like a Tuesday. That way you won't put yourself in a squeeze.
Right.
You know? And someone made a good point here in the chat. Time zones. Always keep an eye on the time zone. So yeah, so there's several variables you have to consider. You know, when I used to do it, I always just say, okay, if it delivered Monday early morning, I would try to get it later that day, I would try to keep a load within the 50-mile deadhead. If I couldn't, then I'm going to schedule a load for the next day, Tuesday, because I don't want to take a chance with the driver's reset hours, with load and unload times, or anything like that. So I would schedule it the following day. That way I know I am safe. Okay? All right. What else? Oh, it's after 8, guys. After 8. I got time for one more question. One more. And
I got one more for you.
okay, who's that? David?
Is it? Yeah. And so is it? All right. I ain't talking like us beginners. Like I'm like brand new into it. But like say like a month later or like 3 weeks later, is it possible to be doing this stuff from my cell phone? Because I still drive a truck for a living.
Okay,
Like,
so
I got 9 kids.
So you're a company driver?
Yeah, I'm just a company driver. So I don't got none of them worries that they got to like over the roaders got to worry about. I already know what I'm doing. I'm on autopilot.
Right.
And I know how to work my route. I got time to kill and all this and that, especially when I'm sitting at like a distribution center. Like I kill an hour, 2 hours, but is it possible to like book loads and all this stuff just on my cell phone from emails, or do I need a laptop with me?
I would say if you can get a laptop with you with the mobile Wi-Fi or the hotspot, it would probably be easier.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
That's
with
what I was
the cell phone, because while you're waiting at facilities to be loaded and offloaded, you could be talking to drivers out there who are owner operators, or you can be making calls or learning the load boards, understanding that, learning it. So yeah, it's possible. But you know, you want to take your time with that, because I always tell people who are in a position, who work in long hours or who may not have as much time, to take your time, do it one at a time, and don't make the transition over to here until your income from dispatching matches or exceeds your current job's income.
Yeah, that's just the thing though. Like if you're driving all day long, but you really want to start dispatching, it's kind of like you got to sacrifice something, you know. Because say I fail at this dispatch thing, I could always run back and get another job driving. I got 11 years clean, no dirty drops, no accidents. So like I don't got a perfect driving record.
Let me give you my scenario. Let me give you a little bit about my story then. And if you were in a place where if you could set aside some money, like if you know your monthly expenses, right, for your household, everything that's included, let's say it's $2,000 a month. So what I did about 5-6 years ago when I was driving, when I was finishing up driving, and I was starting dispatching a while back, I put about 90 days of expenses to the side, and I left a job that I could have went back to if it didn't work out. I put $6,000 aside to cover monthly expenses, right?
Right.
It took me 45 days to get it down as far as booking loads consistently, and I had about 5 carriers at the time, and I just took it and ran with it.
Okay.
But I put the expenses aside where I can leave my 9 to 5 and have the freedom to stay at home and just work this full time and not worry about whether the light bill or the mortgage is going to be paid and stuff like that, right? I saved up enough money to put that aside, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I pay $3,000 a month in child support. I got 9 kids, so
whoa.
I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to pull that.
Yeah, you was a rolling stone, weren't you?
No, I'm retired, man. I'm hanging the hat up, but no, yeah, I appreciate that info, man. I'm stacking my chips up, but like,
Yeah.
I love trucking. I love anything to do with black smoke. So, and if I can help out a fellow driver and keep him rolling and all that stuff, man, they make money off of doing it, man. That I'll be happy doing that. So I appreciate everything you told me about that, though. It's a
Yeah.
good tip.
So yeah, and that's for anyone who's at a place where if they have enough income set aside and they're in a position or a job where they can go back to if you got an employer who understands that you want to start your own business, but if you don't make it at it, you can come back, you can always come back, then put some expenses away, figure out your monthly income. And that's kind of a last resort thing. I don't want to encourage people to do something like that because you may not have an employer that's so open for you to do that, right? So,
true.
You know, so you never want to cut your bread and butter off completely, cold turkey, right?
No, for sure. But I mean, like I don't want to be like doing this and booking loads, and then I look up and I'm ramming somebody, and then now I'm in prison because I done killed somebody because I'm trying too hard to do this. So it's kind of like I know what to do. So just stack some chips up. But I want to really get into this, but I ain't gonna stop until my goal is to have like at least just 2 drivers that are really sticking with me, and I could just build off that. So
Scott, Sky
Oh,
said
boys.
Sky said she'll dispatch for you, and then Charlene said she just did that. She put some money aside and she went on a leave. So now she's an over the road driver. She said it was
Oh,
hard.
damn.
She said it was hard doing it on the road. So she was that's why I remember Charlene. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
it
got,
was real hard trying to do that over the road and working all kinds of different hours. Never knew when you were going to stop and if you had a live load or a live unload. So I went ahead and stacked, and now I'm about to go for a full-fledged.
there you go.
Congratulations. Good luck. Hey, thanks. Thank you. Hey, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
All right. I was driving and took a leave as well. So Nisa, so people are doing it. So you're not alone in this venture. You're not alone, David. So people they may not be in the exact same situation as you, but there's some similarities, right? So, people hear the stories and people know the stories and can kind of relate, because, at some point you get tired of making someone else rich. You know what I'm saying? Working for someone else, and making them millionaire and generational wealth for them, right? You get tired of that. So
Yeah.
you gotta decide, and the one thing you can't get back is time, right? Once time is gone, you can't get time back. And we're all getting older, and at some point we gotta say, man, I gotta do this for me. I can't make this person rich. He don't care about me. I come work for him. And I get
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna tell them drivers. I'm gonna tell all them drivers, like, hey, I ain't gonna make you rich, you know what I'm saying? But I'll get you some money to invest. The stuff that you do, I mean, it's up to you. I'm gonna make you some money, and it's up to you to do with it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go below it. That's your prerogative, but hopefully you try to have like a more of a business mind state, and just try to prepare for the future, but always be ready for the worst case scenario. Right. So, but yeah, that's what I'm getting to this for.
Yeah, so always remember, time is the great paradox, because it's an asset, at the same time a liability. It's good to have, but it's once it's gone, you can't get it back, right? So again, we getting older, so what kind of legacy are we leaving for ourselves? Generational wealth. If you got kids, if you don't have kids, who are you leaving your legacy to? What are you doing for yourself, right? You're in an industry, you've chosen one of the best industries to be in. You just got to figure out how to leverage and take advantage of it, right? As far as, because the transportation industry is not going anywhere. If you cannot tell that, folks, we're in a pandemic and a recession at the same time. And
yeah,
stuff is still
when COVID, my bad to cut you off, but when COVID hit, and I seen everybody was staying home from work and all that, I'm like, bet, like, we gonna get some time off, baby. They like, nah, you guys are back out. I come home at night, the news talking about this packing plant. They got the most COVID cases here, and I live in Iowa. And so I'm like, bet, whatever, I ain't tripping, because we still got to work in it. And so what was happening is they sending me to all these places that's coming back the next day on the news talking about they got all these. I'm like, man, like, I'm done.
Because people still need to eat, people still need to dress. There's still things that need to be delivered, and people's livelihood. You still got food, clothing, and shelter, and things. Everything that you wear, eat, everything that you use has been shipped some way, form, shape, or fashion. So this industry, transportation, is a last I checked, $1.4 trillion a year industry, and it's $800 billion across the trucking side. So if you got 1/2 or 1% of that, you're a millionaire. So you just got to figure out your entry point into this space, and then navigate that entry point and take advantage of that. Learn the space that you're in and take advantage of that. Trust me, it's not going anywhere. It's not going. It's actually picking up. To be honest with you, it's picking up. So you're in the right industry. There are other industries that are recession proof and pandemic proof and all that stuff, but transportation, it's up there. So take advantage of it, folks. All right, guys, we are past our time. I appreciate the guests coming in here. Hopefully you guys learned anything. If I've confused you enough, I apologize. But hopefully you're interested in it. If you are, give me a call or go to the website. Let me put my information down. If you have questions afterwards, you can call me tomorrow too. I'm usually up early. I'll put my information into the chat if it will let me. Here we go. My phone number and my email. And if you need something further explained about the program or the training and how to get involved with it, that's fine. And the new people, congratulations and thank you for joining. Hopefully you guys, I didn't confuse you as well too much, but you're on a journey. You started the first leg of the journey. The website will help you tremendously as far as navigating, going through the portal, modules 1 through 4. Take your time. It's self-paced. You have up to 1 year to be a member. As long as you maintain your subscription, you have access to everything in the back office, and you'll be able to use that to your full advantage. Okay. Again, the next training will be Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. We have trainings 3 days a week, Wednesdays at 6, Saturdays at 12 noon, and Sundays at 11 a.m. And those are all in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. I'm in Virginia Beach, so I'm on the Eastern Time Zone, okay? So hopefully you guys who are guests, consider joining. Look forward to seeing you guys. Everyone else, I will see you on Saturday and Sunday in the trainings, okay? You guys have a great night.
Charles.
Okay?
Thank you.
All righty.